Hey you guys, I'm Admin Lily, and I'm here to answer your questions, as ridiculous as some of them are that I see. Okay, so first question from Alex Harding. I hope I said that right. If you were made of peanut butter and you had to be eaten, who at your school would you want to be eaten by? And it can't be one of your friends. And he's in Slytherin. Well, seeing as I'm not in school anymore, because I'm 21 years old, um, I guess if I was made of peanut butter and I had to be eaten from somebody that I used to go to school with, I'd probably say one of my teachers. That seems to make sense because I kind of live in a small town, so I was kind of friends with everyone at school because there weren't very many kids there. Ooh. The next one is Ryan Danger Aldridge from Ravenclaw, and he asks, what is the scariest sandwich you've ever seen? Now, as confusing as that is, that actually makes sense to me because my boyfriend likes to get really creative with food, and he makes some pretty outrageous sandwiches, whether he's at work, working at the grill at McDonald's and making the weirdest creations you will ever see, or he's at home in the kitchen putting, waffles and chocolate and peanut butter and bacon into a sandwich. It gets awkward. The next question is also from Ryan Danger Aldridge of Ravenclaw, and he asks, toilet paper over or under? Over. It has to be over. If it's under, we can't be friends. Next question, also from Ryan Danger Aldridge of Ravenclaw. He asks, Harley or Crotch Rocket? Well, personally, I know everyone thinks Harley is kind of a dumb brand of motorcycle, but my godfather owned a Harley shop, so I have to say Harley. Next question is, let me see, Chelsea Lee Burt. I hope I said that right. And she asks, what is your favorite Harry Potter creature / animal? And she's from Gryffindor. Well, I think that my favorite animal would probably be the hippogriff. I find something really cool about a horse and a bird being merged together and how they demand respect. And once you've showed them that respect and once they respect you in turn, they seem to make very loyal and great creatures. Same with the phoenix. So it would probably be a tie between those two. Chelsea Lee Burt also asks, what is my most embarrassing moment? Well, I would have to say that my most embarrassing moment would probably be when we had an assembly at school and I was up, in the bleachers, and these bleachers, just high up. And I'm trying to walk down, and it was one of those, suicide prevention assemblies, so, I'm weepy, because I saw a really sad video, and I'm trying to walk down these bleachers, and I totally, completely, in front of, hundreds, of kids, just ate shit everywhere. And I broke my leg, and I had to be escorted out of the gym in front of all these people in a wheelchair and taken to the hospital and had a cast put on, and then I became that girl that fell down the bleachers. How awesome is that? Chelsea also asks, left or right-handed? I'm right-handed. And when I say right-handed, I mean right-handed. Like, I cannot do anything with my left hand. Eat, drive, anything. Like, it doesn't work. Chelsea Lee Burt from Gryffindor also asks, can you play an instrument? I've never really taken lessons or anything, but I can play the piano. I can play a couple of My Chemical Romance songs on the piano and a lot of the Beatles songs on the piano. Chelsea, again, also asks, who would be my ideal husband / wife and why? Well, as I've talked about already with you guys, I've been off and on in a relationship for almost 7 years now with a guy named Josh. And as far as my standards go, I think he's pretty ideal. And, if we've already made it this long, who's to say that we aren't going to make it longer? Chelsea also asks, chicken burgers, beef burgers, or none? Well, I don't like chicken. Like, and everyone's gonna, think I'm crazy, but I don't like chicken, like, at all. I do like beef, so I guess I would have to say beef burgers, although I'm not really a meat eater. I'm not, like, vegetarian or anything like that, but meat is just kind of gross to me. Chelsea also asks, what do you feel like when you hear the word always? I feel a lot of things when I hear the word always. It makes me sad. It makes me happy. It makes me hopeful. Hopeful because to think that somebody can actually love somebody forever, I find is amazing. Sad because he never got the chance to show her that love. And happy because I feel like right then, in saying that he always loved Lily, she kind of got to find out that he always loved her, because in a way I think she was watching over him. What is my favorite Dumbledore quote? I think Dumbledore has a lot of great moments in the books with quotes and in the way that he speaks, so I don't think that I could pick just one. Let's see, let's scroll up here and see what everybody else has asked. Chelsea also asks, English, math, or science, which is your favorite and what is your least favorite and why? Math would be my least favorite. I suck at it, like, I can't do it. Physics and advanced physics, I can do. I got straight A's in it, I was brilliant at it. But math, I cannot do. But English would have to be my favorite. I pride myself on being a very great writer, very grammatically correct, if I can be. Sometimes I slip up, everybody does. I'm not a grammar Nazi. But yeah, I think English was my favorite. It was always a subject that I never had problems with in school, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Chelsea asks, would you rather look like Voldemort or look like Peter Pettigrew? I'm big on dyeing my hair. I'm big on styling my hair, and then I think I would look like Peter Pettigrew because at least he has a little bit of hair that I can work with. Kind of. Chelsea also asks, again, Lily and James or Lily and Snape? Isn't that the ultimate question? Everybody's all, I hate James, I hate Snape, blah, 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 blah. Well, the truth is, I like Lily and James. Not that I don't appreciate Snilly, but Lily and James, I think, were good for each other. I think James loosened Lily up, and I think Lily brought him back down to earth when he was being crazy, like most men are. Lily and Snape, not necessarily that it wouldn't have worked, but I don't think it would have been a very healthy relationship. I think they would have both become very, very, very dependent on each other. Okay, William Stallings he didn't put his house, so, William Stallings asks, on the site Pottermore, what wand chose you? Well, in all actuality and honesty, I haven't been logged into Pottermore in a few months now. I've been consumed with this other page that I admin on, the Hogwarts Experience, where we are going to be doing Hogwarts classes and Quidditch games and things like that. But from what I remember from when I first logged into Pottermore ever, my wand was 11.5 inches white with unicorn hair, unbending. If you could have Catherine Marie Quast of Hufflepuff asks, if you could have a conversation with any 3 people, dead or alive or fictional, who would they be? I think if I ever got the opportunity to have a conversation with 3 people, no matter the circumstances, they would be my niece Haven, because she passed away when she was 5 months old, so I never got to talk to her, hear her voice, or see what her personality would have been like, and I think I would really like to do that. The second person would probably be Dumbledore, just because I appreciate his insight. If you guys hear meowing in the background, it's my kitten, I apologize. And the third person, as cliche and stupid as it's probably going to sound, would probably be Kurt Cobain. My dad raised me listening to classic rock, and things like Nirvana. And I think Kurt Cobain's head would have been a wonderful place to explore. Matthew Hawthorne of Gryffindor asks, what is your view on the Hunger Games? Now, most of you might rage when you hear this. I've never read them. I've never seen the movies. I've never had an interest in them. I understand that there's a wide fandom for it, and it was just never something I was interested in. Arinaka Riddle, I hope I said your name right, who did not include her house at, let's see, she might have commented again, let me see. Oh, Slytherin. She's in Slytherin. Is asking, what do you think about Twilight? Now, here's where I probably receive more hate. Twilight, to me, I like the books. The movies are irritating. I think Robert Pattinson made a better Cedric. I don't think he makes a good Edward at all. I don't think he acts or looks the way Edward was described. I really appreciate the books. The books are a lot different from the movies, and I really get into them. The movies aren't my thing. I'm not exactly part of the Twilight fandom, though. I'm not, like, obsessive over it or anything like that. Katie Bear Finn of Hufflepuff asks, what is your ideal future career? Excuse me. That would probably be a cosmetologist. I've already done a year of cosmetology school, and I really enjoy cutting hair, styling hair, dyeing hair, doing nails, makeup, and I've always been really good at it. I've found, like, it's kind of an art form for me. I've never had to, like, study it. I always just kind of knew how to cut hair, or how it laid, or how it moved, or how to dye it, or it was just always something that came really natural. Jerry Keene of Gryffindor asks, why don't they start more Harry Potter like his kids or something? Well, that's not really a question that I can answer. That would be something that JK would have to answer. But my belief on why she hasn't continued the series is I think she just wants to leave it with the fact that they're happy. After all that the trio went through and the Wizarding World went through, I think she just wants us to leave on a final note knowing that they were happy and that they won. Let me scroll up again here and see what's next. Michaela Fierro of Hufflepuff asks, would you rather be killed by Voldemort or Tom Riddle? I think it would be almost the same thing to be killed by either person. One's just better looking. I still think that it would be a horrible way to die because they both liked to torture their victims. But I guess if I absolutely had to choose, I would pick Tom Riddle. Naomi Wolf Lello Shadow of Slytherin asks, do you ship Drapple? I don't ship it extensively. Do I think it's cute? I think it's really cute. And I think it makes sense, and I understand the attraction between the two, but I've never actually, like, shipped it or paid super attention to it. But I do appreciate the ship. Once again, Chelsea Lee Burt of Gryffindor asks, what do you say to the muggles who insult Harry Potter? I look at it this way, when people insult Harry Potter. I'm not going to sit there and start an argument about it. As much as I love the fandom, as much as I have been a part of it for 10 years now, I like to think that the muggles that hate on Harry Potter are just, pardon my language, but illiterate bastards who can't understand love. And that's their loss. Katie Bear Finn of Hufflepuff asked, would I rather have fingers as long as my legs or legs as long as my fingers? I guess if I had to choose, I would have to choose legs as long as my fingers, because you couldn't do much with fingers that were as long as your legs. That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous if you had fingers that were as long as your legs. You couldn't pick anything up, you couldn't open anything. I I think that it would be a stressful situation. Let's see. Katie Bear Finn of Hufflepuff also asks, how do you picture yourself in 20 years? I guess I've never liked questions like this because every time I've been asked something like this and I've said, oh, well, I see this and I see this, it turns out to be the exact opposite. What I would like to see in 20 years with myself is owning my own home, having children, being with Josh, hopefully still admitting because I get a lot of joy out of it, and hopefully I would have finished my degree in cosmetology. And I've always kind of wanted to have my own little salon. But most of all, I want a family. Like, more than anything, I want my own kids. People are born to do something, and I feel like I was born to be a mother. I feel like I would be a very great mother. Katie Bear Finn of Hufflepuff also asks, if you had to choose, would you rather drown, burn to death, be hit by a car, or be shot? I think depending on the place that I was shot, if it meant resulting in death, which means you would be shot somewhere in the chest or the stomach or the head, I think I would pick being shot because I think it would be over with a lot faster than any of the other options. Katie Bear Finn of Hufflepuff asks, who is your celebrity crush? This is going to seem pretty obvious, but Tom Felton. Like, there's no way around it. Since I was 9 years old, I would have laid down and kissed that man's feet because he is... I don't even know if it's Tom Felton or if it's Draco Malfoy, because there's something so fiery about Draco Malfoy. Like, he just commands just respect, even though he's just like a little boy trapped inside a man. There's just something so attractive about him being so mean, but then to think of him, you know, picking that one girl that he would do anything for. And I used to wish that I could be that one girl. Let's see. Let's see. Why do Cole Foster Lind of Ravenclaw asks, why do I love HP, Harry Potter? Is it the story, the characters, or both? I love Harry Potter because when I was a child, 9 years old, well, when I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with a rare illness that prevented me from having a normal childhood. I pretty much grew up in the hospital. I was sick all the time. I couldn't hardly ever go to school. And I mean, I'm still suffering from the disease, but they've figured out how to stabilize it. And, you know, there were points where they didn't know if I was going to live through it. And sitting in the hospital with nothing to do but stare at a TV screen, my aunt gave me the first Harry Potter book. And it was always an escape from what was going on around me. You know, getting poked and prodded, you know, needles, tests, being in the hospital, you know, sometimes my mom couldn't always stay there because she had to work and she had to take care of my little sister, you know, and being around doctors and just having a basic fear of the unknown, whether I was going to live, die, you know, I was so sick half the time, you know, I couldn't stand up. Harry Potter was always an escape. It was a place I could go where I didn't have to think about any of that. I could just be a wizard. I could just be a witch. I could be in that world. And I was just mesmerized by it. And to this day, like, when I'm having a problem or I'm upset, I can sit down and open these books and I'm transported into a better world than what's going on around me. And I will never, whether it's the characters or the story, I will never not love Harry Potter. Because I am 100% positive that it saved my life. Cole Foster Lind of Ravenclaw asks, who is your favorite character? My favorite character is probably a tie between Harry and Voldemort, as dumb as that sounds. But I appreciate the connection between them, and figuring out Voldemort's mind was always extremely fascinating to me, how to work out all the pieces of his mind and why he acted and did the things the way that he did them. And Harry, because I got to grow up with him, and so a lot of the things he was feeling at certain times, I got to feel too. And that's the same with Hermione and Ron and Draco. I got to grow up with them, and so the way their head worked, my head worked, and I could always understand them, even though situations were different. Let's scroll up again here. Jenny Olsen of, I don't see her house. I might have said her house previously. I am unsure. Has asked, do I like Katie Bear Finn's comments? And yes, I appreciated her comments. They were very, very good questions. Jenny Olsen also asked, do you love Zac Efron? And apparently, if I say no, she's going to find me, come to my house, blindfold me, drag me into a field, and summon the sloths so that they can serenade me. Well, the point is, I guess you're going to have to drag me into a field and let the sloths, God, I can't even talk today. Let the sloths serenade me, because I don't like Zac Efron. He was kind of out of my age group. By the time he was a famous person, you know, I was a teenager, almost an adult. So, well, I guess that wraps up the questions. Because I've reached my close comment. Don't forget to be voting for your trial admins, and if you would like to, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel that I post this on. This YouTube channel won't have anything that's not Harry Potter related on it, and it also works with my other page, The Hogwarts Experience, where we are doing literally a virtual Hogwarts. I liked answering all your guys' questions, and I will be posting this video in a few moments along with the 3 question winners that get 100 points for their house. That's about it. I hope you guys vote for me. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Bye.